In this lesson, we're going to learn how to find the volume and surface area of a sphere. So let's get started. Now, a sphere is a solid in which each point is equidistant from a center. And over here we have a sphere. And you can think of a sphere as a basketball or a beach ball. Those are spheres. And so we've labeled each part here. We have the great circle, and basically the great circle is a circle on the surface of the sphere that lies in a plane passing through the sphere's center. And so we have the great circle here, and it's just a circle. It passes through the center of the sphere. The center is right here, and it's right in the middle. The center radius goes from the middle of the circle to the edge of the circle, or the edge of the sphere. The diameter goes from one endpoint to the other of the sphere. And the hemisphere are right here, or they are half circles. So half circle is a hemisphere. Think about the Earth's hemispheres is broken into two. So it's a half circle. And the first thing we want to do is find the volume of the sphere, and the volume is the space inside of this sphere. So if you think about a basketball, the volume would be the air inside of the basketball. So we want to find the volume of this sphere right here. So this piece is 33. That 33 represents the radius of the circle, not the radius, the diameter, because we have this line going from one end to the other. So that's the diameter. For the volume, we're using volume equals 4/3 times pi times r cubed. And so we want the radius. So the radius would be half of the diameter, and half of that is 16.5. So radius is half of the diameter. I've divided 33 by 2 and got 16.5. Now I'm just going to plug it in. Volume equals 4/3 times pi times the radius, which is 16.5 cubed. So order of operations, I do exponents first. So 16.5 cubed, that gives me 4,492.125. I'll go ahead and write it for this one here. Quite long, but you can leave it in your calculator and maybe not write it. And then I'm going to multiply that by 4. So times 4, it gives me 17,968.5. because the 4 and this piece here is in the numerator, that 3 is in the denominator. So my pi is in the numerator, and I could divide everything by 3. I could do this in several different ways. I could have just multiplied straight across. If you have one of those calculators that will do the exponents first, but if not, for the most part, you need to do your exponents first. And I'm just multiplying everything through here. 17,968.5 times pi. I'm just hitting my pi key. Then I divide by 3. That gives me 18,816.57 centimeters cubed. All right, I'm gonna cross out my answer there. All right, so I found the volume of that sphere. Next, we're going to use this sphere to find the surface area. And with that same basketball, the volume is the air inside of the ball. The surface area is the leather. I think it's made out of leather. I think basketballs are made out of leather. I'm not sure. But whatever material is on the outside of a basketball, that is the surface area. So you want to find the area of that material on the outside of the ball there. So the formula is surface area. I have at the top here is equal to 4 times pi times r squared. So again, we're given our diameter. So the radius is 12. So diameter is 24. Radius is half of that. That is 12 squared. So 4 times pi, 12 squared is 144, times 4, that is 576 pi. 576 times pi is 1,809.56 millimeters squared. So surface area is squared, volume is cubed. This is three-dimensional. And let me just write this 2 here. That looks horrible. So millimeters squared there. All right, so we have found the surface area and volume of these two spheres. All right, so for these two problems, I would like for you to try them on your own. For this first sphere, I would like for you to find the volume. And for the second sphere, I would like for you to find the surface area. I've given you the formulas in the middle. So go ahead and pause the video, please, and try these two problems on your own. Okay, so for the first one, the volume of the sphere is 1,436.76, and the surface area of the second one is 98.52 meters squared. So hopefully you got them correct. If not, keep the video paused a little longer and analyze my work here a little more. Now we're looking at finding the surface area and volume of a hemisphere. And a hemisphere is basically half of a sphere. And if you look at the formulas here, so remember the volume of a sphere was 4/3 pi r cubed. So the volume of a hemisphere is 2/3 pi r cubed. So we just took half of that 4/3 and made it 2/3. But if you notice here, for the surface area of a sphere, it was 4 pi r squared. And we didn't just divide it by 2 to get 2. We have a 3 here. That 3 is there because we have to take into account the flat surface of the sphere. Not the sphere, the hemisphere. So this flat surface here, we have to also find the surface of that as well. And so we're just going to use these formulas to find the volume and surface area. So the first one here, we want to find the volume. So I'm just going to use the formula. So volume is equal to 2/3 pi. The radius here is 5, and I'm just plugging it in. 5 cubed is 125. Multiplying that by 2, that is 250 pi divided by 3. And again, you could do 2/3 times pi times 125, but remember that 3 may give you, if you try to put a fraction in the calculator, it may give you that 0.333. So I like it if the denominator is 3 to just divide by 3. And so my final answer is 261.8 kilometers or kilometers. Let me put that 2 a little closer. There we go. All right. So now we're going to find the surface area of this hemisphere. So surface area is equal to 3 times pi times r. So r would be 14 right here. 14 squared. 14 squared is 196. So 3 pi times 196. That's 588 pi, and that leaves me with 1,847.26 yards squared. So we have found the surface area and volume of these hemispheres. So of course, you know I'm going to ask you to find or solve problems on your own. So go ahead and pause the video and find the volume and surface area of these hemispheres. Alright, so for the first one, the volume, you should have gotten 1,526.81 feet cubed, and the surface area of the second hemisphere, 350.7 centimeters squared. So hopefully you got them correct. If not, keep the video paused and analyze, or pause the video, analyze the work here a little more, see if you can get these correct answers. But I hope you got them correct the first time. So we've reached the end of our lesson. I want to thank you for learning with me. Some related videos are surface and lateral area of prisms and cylinders, as well as volume of pyramids and cones. If you haven't already, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And once again, I want to thank you for learning with me.